So it's around noon. I was around 11. I don't think I'm gonna be awake much longer. It's just kind of like that, like in between awake. Um, I don't think I really had that much to drink last night. It was more like I got home. I smoked something that somebody gave me, and that knocked me right out. Um, I. It's funny how when you wake up after drinking, you always like look better. I don't know. Like it's messy. Like I'm obviously kind of like but at the same time, I look better. I don't know. It's weird what alcohol does to you, right? It's not just the goggles. It's like I don't know. It might be because like you lose body weight or something, and so you look thinner. I don't know. Is that even true? Everybody with a beer gut will tell me otherwise, right? But I always find when I wake up, like my body is like I'm more curvy when I'm hungover. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I'm awake yet, so I don't know what day this is going to be inserted into. But I just wanted more to like I'm at least half awake. I don't yeah. I'll probably wash away the heat. Get your tan by standing in the English rain. Good. My burps smell like sativa. It's. I'm sitting here reading the news and I'm like, burp. Dank. Alright, so it's 4 o'clock and it seems like I am awake after all. Um, I got my hangover juice here. And some Doritos that I bought last night on the way home, in somewhat of an inebriated fashion. And I did not actually eat because I passed out. And I'm just realizing I didn't eat yesterday. I was up at like noon. It was overall yesterday was a short day because of the inebriation, but I didn't. I didn't eat at all yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I actually, I pointed out yesterday that I wanted to get started, and I never really got the day started. So I need to do what I intended to do yesterday, which is do some reciting, get the vlogs back in motion, and step away from the situation. I'm just floored by the fact that Brittany and Fusi are both wearing rings on their ring finger all of a sudden. Just like out of nowhere. All of a sudden they both have rings on their ring fingers. And they are wearing them on their ring fingers. So, how does that happen? Is it just a coincidence that they both got wedding rings on the same day? They both look like wedding rings. My hypothesis is that these vlogs are not vlogs, or at least they're not anymore. Maybe at some point in time they were, but like these are scripted episodes, or at least they are on the Atwood side of things. Fusi's vlogs may be more real, but Roman's vlogs are not vlogs. They're I don't know how they do it if it's like just kind of like rough, right? But that would essentially mean that Brittany is an actor, right? Again, maybe she wasn't at some point. Maybe at some point they actually were together. But at this point, what you're seeing in that vlog is not a real relationship. And so breaking up a fake relationship doesn't mean anything, right? And it explains kind of what you're seeing there, right? Now, one would think that situation is unsustainable, right? That something's gonna have to happen to have that break. But it looks like for whatever reason, maybe because they're under contract, or maybe just because they want control over it, right? It seems as though it's going to be a controlled collapse, right? So, I think that what I saw is accurate, and what I'm seeing is real. It's just, it's not going to get across, right? And with that, I need to stop wasting my time on that. This is my vlog. It's just, the only, like I say, I've pointed this up before. The only reason why I'm saying this on my vlog is just because I've been wasting a lot of time, kind of lost in this pointless drama, right? It's drama that does not affect me at all, and there's really no reason I should be interested in this whatsoever, except all of these kinds of schizophrenic fantasies and projections. So, like, that's, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull myself away entirely, right? Because it is kind of engrossing. It's enticing. I'm sorry, salacious. Use your favorite adjective, but I mean, I'm just very interested by this. But I shouldn't be, right? And so I need to tone my interest down. So let's get these things rolling again. I got a few days of solid listening. It's the temperature is coming down, but it's gonna be raining, so I'll be stuck inside. I don't plan on going anywhere for a while. I was thinking maybe Friday, but it's the same thing. It's gonna be cold. Yeah. Let's. I've lost more than a week on pointlessness. Let's get myself back on track and start moving forward again. I also have an alter reality update for today too. I forgot. That's I can't believe the last one was a week ago. That's a good way to measure just how much lost time I had in the last week, right? Let's get things going. Back on track. I actually think that last night was really necessary to clear my head. I've been through this a few times. I think that I'll be a lot more productive now that I had, that I sort of let that out a little bit. So yeah. 2 polls released for North Carolina today. One of them has Trump at 38 and Johnson at 15. The other one has Trump at 44 and Johnson at 4. That's the difference between Clinton winning the state and Trump winning the state. You see what happens when you model it differently? And the difference here is likely not the result of any kind of methodological changes, so much as it's the result of different demographic modelings, right? The raw data probably looked fairly similar. It's what they did with the raw data, right? And I went over this before too. But Clinton's at 42 and 41, flat. The volatility is on the right. And this election, whether anybody likes her or not, is going to be determined by Gary Johnson. So I will get a phone one day, and I've already decided on Android over Apple. So I have no interest in the iPhone 7, 6, 24, whatever. I have a functional boycott of Apple in place, actually. I don't buy any Apple products at all, ever, under any circumstance, because that company is more evil than average. And all the more so in the context of the advertising. And getting rid of headphone jacks? No. Nope. Why don't we get rid of Apple instead? They're talking about Bergdahl, and okay, so Bergdahl was the serviceman who deserted in Afghanistan, and was captured by the Taliban, and held captive there for, I believe it was 5 years. And the media, is making a big deal about the process that was used, and the idea that I believe it was a transfer initiative that put the process through. They didn't send it to Congress. due to time issues, and sections of the media were upset that the president or whatever advisors or military people under the president would uh, allow a transfer of prisoners in exchange for a deserter. You know, um, they felt that it was a bad trade to give up some bad guys that they caught in favor for this useless eater deserter, right? Um, I think that people that are making that argument um, misunderstand the idea of the no woman or no man, woman, or child left behind kind of idea. So the United States has a military, and I actually don't know of the Canadian military, but I presume probably. Um, but I do know that the United States military has a policy where nobody is left behind ever, right? So if they go into a war to, everything is done to try to prevent leaving people behind, right? So if they go into a war zone, um, they know that there's a member of their squad that's still there. They don't leave until they can get everybody um, safe and out, right? You have to put this policy um, in the proper context, which is that it's also meant to prevent desertion. And that's kind of what I wanted to point out about it. If you look at the United States military history, you have situations where um, you had conscription armies or armies that had a lot of conscripted soldiers in it. Um, carrying out some pretty awful um, uh, missions and orders, right? So, for that reason, there has to be a really strong emphasis on the prevention of desertion. I know, for example, the desertion rate in the Second World War was very high. And when you look at the conflicts that exist today, while these soldiers may not be conscripted, they may not fully understand what they're doing until they actually get on the ground and start doing it. We saw that in Iraq, in Afghanistan. People sign up for something and they realize that what they signed up for is not reflective of reality at all, right? And then they're stuck there, fighting for something that they don't really believe in. And if they could find a way to escape, I mean, they can't leave the army. If you send them home, they can't leave. They'll go to jail, right? If you're in the U.S. Army and you want out, for whatever reason, the only way to do it is to desert, to flee the country. It's the solid reality of the situation, right? So they have to have very, very strict laws on desertion. And this leave nobody behind policy is a large component of that. What they're saying in being aggressive and getting this deserter back is that you can't get out.
that they will hunt you down. They will find you in the, you know, they will find you in the uh, grip of the Taliban. They will drag you out and they'll bring you home where you can stand trial. So those arguing that they shouldn't have, given anything up for the deserter, or even, if he deserted, then, he deserted to the Taliban. He deserted and got caught by the Taliban. He's getting what he deserves. People that are making this argument are missing the point, which is that the military has to send the message to service people that they will track you down, that you can't get away, that there is no escape. And so the desertion is why it's ever more important. To bring them home. It's a different perspective on it. The kind of thing that doesn't get through the propaganda channels, right?